Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How you guys doing? I hope you all having a good day. I hope you guys had an interesting day. I hope you guys was quite entertained about what we saw today. It was unexpected, but it was expected at the same time. It's one thing that you don't accept as a president that you have lost the election, okay? Because you don't understand the voting process, right? But it's another thing. It's another thing to have your supporters go out and protest. And not only did they protest, this is the part that gets really exciting. They ramshack the Capitol. They ramshack. They go up in that motherfucker. You got people that went into Pelosi's office, Nancy Pelosi's office, and sitting up in that bitch. They ramshack this bitch. They climbing on the walls. And guess what? It's mostly white folks. And guess what? They're mostly Republicans. And they are Trump supporters. These are white folks that's doing this shit. And the police cannot keep them under control. These are the same people that say blue lives matter. Blue lives matter. It matters. But they done went through the police officer, went up in that Capitol, and the damn House Congress had to duck down, and they had to go shelter themselves, and people was armed with weapons. And then one lady done got shot and killed inside the bitch. Ooh, boy. And hold on, the police were like, I seen one police officer, a black cop, taking a stick, trying to goddamn move the damn protesters out the way. They ramshacked this motherfucker. Like, this shit is hilarious. This is a laughing stock right now. Like, you're telling me these people get to ramshack the White House? The Capitol? They came in numbers. It was a large number. And then when the curfew came about, them motherfuckers wasn't going nowhere. And then Trump sent out the tweet and said, well, please have a peaceful protest and respect the men and the women that's in blue because they're on our side. Follow the lawmakers and whatnot. These folks weren't trying to hear that shit. And then he got his tweets deleted. Twitter blocked his account. And he told his protesters, all right, that's enough, go home. These folks ain't trying to hear that shit. You called the shots. Now you want these people to go home. You want your good old white supremacists to go home, right? Them folks weren't finna back out for nothing. They put up a fight. These folks, oh my God. The most craziest part is people climbing on the fucking wall. Like, I'm like, what? I better not hear no shit when there is a protest about black people who getting killed by police officers. I better not hear no shit about no looting, no rioting. When these motherfuckers was rioting, they was looting shit out the fucking office. I better not hear no goddamn shit. If they can go up in the Capitol and do that dumb shit, do the shit they damn doing, and the motherfucking guards can't keep their asses under control, I better not hear no shit about what the black folks doing in the neighborhoods. Because if it was our black asses going up in there doing exactly what these white folks were doing, we would get killed, we would get tear gas, we'll get the dog sick on us, we'll get arrested, we get all kind of shit. But when these white folks do it, ain't too many of them got arrested. Ain't too many of them got tear gas. Only one person got shot. And then police officers done got injured because of these white folks. There are Republicans. There are Trump supporters. These are white folks that doing this shit. Most of them are white folks. Now, there was some black folks that was up in there. You never know. But for the most part, there were white people that was doing this goddamn shit. These are patriots of America. You supposed to love your country so much, but you went up in there and ramshacked the Capitol, the U.S. Capitol, and forced everybody to duck down while they were doing the electoral counts because Trump demanded once again they do the electoral counts. Y'all ramshacked this motherfucker. And them folks couldn't even do nothing. Y'all ramshacked this bitch. You know what? Let me go ahead and play this video, man. Because this is one hilarious ass shit. This shit right here, this is crazy. Let's play the video.
History and what can only be described as a national disgrace. As we come on the air, the U.S. Capitol is under lockdown after violent mobs, stoked and encouraged by the words of President Trump and his allies, stormed the building while the House were in session. They were meeting to count the votes of the Electoral College. Supporters of President Trump carrying flags with his name on them broke down doors, smashed windows, and attacked police. Some briefly invaded the Senate chamber. At this hour, at least one person has died. Others have been injured, and at least 2 suspected explosive devices have been disabled. All of this because President Trump has refused to accept that he lost the election and has falsely told his supporters that it was stolen. The process to count the electoral ballots has been halted. Right now, Washington, D.C. is under a mandatory curfew, and police and the National Guard are trying to restore order. It has been an extraordinary day. Congressional leaders have pleaded for President Trump to call off the protesters. Late today, he did tweet a video in which he repeated his false claims that the election was stolen from him, and he called on protesters to go home. President-elect Biden also spoke, and actually spoke before the President of the United States, saying that our democracy is under unprecedented assault. He also said America is so much better than this. At this moment, we are told that the Capitol building has been secured and that the counting of electoral votes may continue later tonight. We have a team covering all of this. I want to go back to CBS's Chris Van Cleve, who is just outside the Capitol and has been amidst it all day. Good evening, Chris.
Nora, the remaining protesters are squaring off with a line of police and National Guard in the street outside of the Capitol. This is a much calmer scene than earlier today, and I think we need to back up to that point when demonstrators among the tens of thousands of people that were outside the Capitol climbed onto the scaffolding that's out in front of the Capitol where the inauguration will take place, and then were able to breach the Capitol building itself. That escalated what had been a peaceful demonstration into something we hadn't seen in American history, really. We can show you some video. People breached the Capitol. Once inside, there was a shooting. We understand now a woman has died. There are also some striking photos as both houses of Congress were in session, the House and the Senate. The president was there. Multiple people in the line of succession were in the building. That forced both houses of Congress to be locked down. Capitol Police had their guns out, directed at the doors as people outside attempted to get inside. We watched as members of Congress were evacuated, one in a gas mask. Listen to what David Trone, a representative from Maryland, a Democrat, had to say.
And it was time to move fast, and everybody moved very quickly, very orderly, out the doors, into the elevators, in through the tunnels. Then we got routed around, so we came up in a secure location, and we're sending bottles of water in, and we're waiting for directions.
We have seen flashbangs be used. We have seen tear gas and pepper spray be used. We've also seen demonstrators throw smoke at police. Right now, we are seeing D.C. is under a curfew. These people are violating the D.C. curfew. They have not been told to go home yet, but the Capitol Police, the Metropolitan Police, the D.C. Police, the National Guard have been moving them further and further away from the Capitol. We are now standing in the street about a block and a half from the Capitol. Remaining demonstrators are lined up facing police in riot gear. Nora?
Chris Van Cleve, amidst it all, an extraordinary day on Capitol Hill.
What?
Your neighborhood news, streaming 24/7. Anytime, anywhere.
Did y'all hear that? They were smashing the windows. Did you not see those people smashing the fucking windows? What? Now the question is, who the real motherfucking thugs is? See, we get criticized. Our people get criticized and be called thugs, hoodlums, savages. Who the real motherfucking savages? Who the real motherfucking savages? What they did was a savage act. They ramshacked this motherfucker. And the law enforcement couldn't keep them under control. And us black folks, we sitting back, we laughing at this shit. We laughing. Because guess what? This ain't our battle. This ain't our fucking fight. This ain't our fight. What I call this is white supremacy versus white supremacy. This is Trump versus Biden, and they got some beef with each other. So Trump done sent his homeboys over there to the White House, to the Capitol. And now he's trying to tell his people, hey, y'all, stop. Slow it down. Don't do that. No, don't you do that. Stop it. Make it peaceful now. Go home now. And the folks ain't listening to what he's saying. And they ain't following no curfew. So much for being patriotic. But these are the same people. These are the same people that say something to black folks, especially when it comes down to police brutality. That, hey, blue lives matter. All lives matter. All lives matter. Blue lives matter. It didn't matter when you injured those police officers. It didn't matter when you kicked down that motherfucking gate throwing tear gas at them. It didn't matter. See, this is the hypocrisy of America. This is America's true color. What you're seeing is who America really is. This is a laughing moment, and it's sad, but it's funny. It's entertaining. You can't help but to laugh at this shit. You can't help but to be entertained, be intrigued. These white folks climbing on the fucking walls, throwing shit. And they refuse to get up out that motherfucker. And you talking about we some savages and we some thugs? Do you see that? That's some thuggish ass shit right there. That's some savage ass shit. And only one person died. Out of all the motherfuckers, only one person died, and it happened to be a woman. She was shot inside the Capitol. Civil disobedience at its finest. So they can get away with expressing their fucking anger and doing all that shit. But let us express our anger. We get criticized. And not just by them, but also by our own people. By our own people who act like they goody two-shoe. We'll get the criticism. Stop all that rioting. Why you looting? Why you looting? But them motherfuckers went in there, they looted and they riot. They riot. And this is the Capitol. This ain't no business. Okay? This ain't a local community downtown. This is the capital of the United States. This is the federal government building. They ran up in the federal government building. What does that go to show you? And these motherfuckers were doing it for hours and hours and hours. Having guns, goddamn, waiting for them. It was just that bad to the point. Them motherfuckers had to make sure they had pistols on them. Eventually, they sent the National Guards. But as the rest of them, they was inside holding the goddamn pistol, waiting for one of them to come through there. That's how crazy it was, man. Nigga was goddamn standing inside on the podium and shit. Motherfuckers standing on top of the desks and shit in the offices. These motherfuckers ain't had no respect. These motherfuckers ain't give a damn. I wonder what the black Republicans think about this. What do you black Republicans out there, those who are Trump supporters, what do you think about this shit that's going down? I just want to know, how do y'all feel about this shit? Do you think it's a hypocrisy that these same people say that blue lives matter, but turn around and injure police officer throwing tear gas at them? How do y'all feel about it? Because, this is quite an entertainment. This is just a laughing. United States has become a laughing stock of the world. I believe the world is sitting back laughing at United States right now. They're like, oh my God, look at those people over there in the United States. But the government can't keep control of their citizens. They're laughing. The United States have become a laughing stock. Boy, I tell you, the hypocrisy of this country has truly revealed itself. It have truly revealed itself. Man, let's go ahead and look at another video. Let's look at what Fox News is talking about. Let me see what they talking about on Fox News. Okay, hold on, let me see something. Okay, so I'm on Fox News website. Okay, let's see what they talking about.
And there is a deeply spiritual deficit in the building. There is video that appears to show the incident where it shows a crowd of people inside the Capitol yelling. There's seemingly some confusion and chaos, and then you hear a shot fired off. Metropolitan Police later confirmed to Fox News that the woman who was shot died from her injuries. Now, a witness who recorded one of the videos that's circulating spoke with Fox News a short time ago. Here's how he's describing the scene.
She didn't say anything. She hit the ground, and that's when I was filming, and I stopped filming. That's why my videos are split in two, because I had to shine a flashlight on her to see if we could stop the bleeding, and we put our hands on her neck to try and stop it, and we just watched her eyes go wide, and there was nothing we could do.
Now, Babbitt's mother-in-law also told our local Fox affiliate in D.C. that, quote, I really don't know why she decided to do this. What is unclear is specifically where the shooting took place inside the building. Shannon?
All right, Jeff Paul for us tonight out west. Thank you. So minutes after the president told a large crowd of supporters that he will never concede, they marched down Pennsylvania Avenue. Some of them stormed the Capitol. And as those events played out, both he and the president-elect weighed in.
I call on President Trump to go on national television now to fulfill his oath and defend the Constitution and demand an end to this siege.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. I know how you feel, but go home and go home in peace.
By the way, we are now being told by D.C. police that 4 people died today. 1 woman was shot. 3 others had medical emergencies. Let's check in with White House correspondent Kevin Corke, reporting live on the ground for us. Hello, Kevin.
Evening, Shannon. We're on the east side of the Capitol, where things are obviously very quiet at this hour, in sharp contrast to, unfortunately, what happened inside the building. Part of an historic and memorable day here in the nation's capital, a very sad day that actually began with the president addressing hundreds of thousands of his supporters.
We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved.
President Trump standing firm in his belief that the election was stolen, speaking for over an hour to thousands of his most ardent supporters on the ellipse. At the same time, Congress was preparing to certify the 2020 results just down Pennsylvania Avenue. His own vice president became the target of his ire.
Mike Pence, I hope you're going to stand up for the good of our Constitution and for the good of our country. And if you're not, I'm going to be very disappointed in you. I will tell you right now. I'm not hearing good stories.
Each House will deliberate separately on the pending objection and report its decision back to the joint session.
Vice President Pence did make a rare departure from the president, writing to members of Congress today, "It is my considered judgment that my oath to support and defend the Constitution constrains me from unilateral authority to determine which electoral votes should be counted and which should not." Anger from Trump supporters seemed to reach its boiling point just hours later, some of them storming the U.S. Capitol, breaking windows, gaining access to the legislative chambers and lawmakers' offices. Calls for Trump to condemn the violence were quick to follow. As usual, the president took his message to Twitter, saying, "These are the things and events that happen when a sacred landslide election victory is so unceremoniously and viciously stripped away from great patriots who have been badly and unfairly treated for so long. Go home with love and in peace. Remember this day forever." Even some of the president's closest aides say the response was not enough. Former acting chief of staff and OMB director Mick Mulvaney saying he can stop this now and needs to do tell these folks to go home. And recently departed communications director Alyssa Farah called on the president to condemn this now. And Shannon, we have just learned tonight that the mayor of Washington, D.C., Muriel Bowser, has now extended for lack of a better description, the curfew in effect in this city. I just want to make sure, Cecilia, you were saying that this is going to last, I think, 15 days now, right? 15 days. And so what I'm showing you and what we're learning here tonight is that the city is really wounded by what has happened here today. And they're trying to do the leadership right now, not just look for answers as to what happened in here, but obviously trying to keep things calm moving forward. Shannon.
All right, Kevin, can you clarify? Tonight it was set for 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. tomorrow. So we're saying those are the hours that we think will be in place for DC for the next 15 days? Or do you know about the hours yet?
Yeah, right. Here's what we understand. It's a 6 to 6 between now and tomorrow morning. But for the next 15 days, they're going to have restrictions on people being able to gather and to get together here in this city. As you know, this entire city really has a foundation of protest. People love to come here. They want to have their voices heard, whether it's here at the Capitol or over right across the street at the Supreme Court. This is the foundation of Washington, D.C. But the mayor is pushing back and saying we're not going to be able to allow that, especially in light of what has happened here today.
Okay. Well, Kevin, you and I were on the air many nights over the summer covering the protests that were down closer to the White House. And we know that there was a lot of trouble managing the city at that point, too. Okay, Kevin, thank you. Stay safe.
Yeah.
Well, what you see is going to go down in history books. It's going down in history. This is going to be one historical moment that ever took place. The riot at the U.S. Capitol. The protesters, the gangsters, the thugs, the savages that went up in there and ramshacked the U.S. Capitol. That's going down in history. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the entertainment and the foolery that has happened and took place. And as you can see, they said 4 more people died. But goddamn. But I hope you guys enjoyed that entertainment, because I surely did. I surely was intrigued and amazed by it. But anyways, that's all I have to say for tonight. And I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and please be safe, be careful, be mindful. And until next time, I will reconnect with you all later. Okay? On some daily Black history and other subject matters. Until then, may peace and power elevation be to all of you. And thank you all for watching. And thank you all for being entertained by this foolishness, because that's what it is. But it is what it is. That's how humans are. Certain humans. But anyways, y'all take it easy for real on some real stuff. And I'll reconnect with y'all. All right. Go ahead. Have a good night. Peace. Thank you. Oh, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell, and please make sure you share the channel. And also like the channel if you like it. And if you want to support the channel, please make sure you click on my Cash App information, which is at the bottom of the screen. You go ahead and send it if you want to support it. Until then, once again, thank y'all, and y'all have a good one. All right. This your girl Tip, and I'm out.